Hey guys, this is Mark Goldberg from Mark Vlogs Watches with another exciting episode for you today. Before we move into the meat and potatoes of our topic, let's go ahead and do the quick fist watch check. And here it is. It was kind of like a double layer of security on this fist watch check. Today, I'm wearing my one ball watch. It is a blue ball. It is a ball world time diver with day and date. You may think it's an odd duck, but I love it a lot, and I'm going to show you what it looks like at night. The lume is incredible right here. This ball watch uses tritium tubes, which are little tubes filled with radioactive luminescent gas that power the watch without charge for 12 years of light minimum. I want to remind you to please like this video, and it will help me enormously if you will also subscribe. Let's do this year together, guys. Guys, I have a letter here from a source who I have been quoting lately, and I think this source now is proving interesting and reliable and frequent enough as to where he or she deserves a name. So we are going to name this individual, we're going to call him or her Moneypenny. Moneypenny has sent another letter, and I want to read it to you. I want to tell you, first of all, although interesting from the inside information perspective, I don't consider it earth-shattering information, so I'm not trying to present this as something incredibly crazy happening at this time. But I have pledged to keep you informed with full disclosure on everything that I have learned. Now, if you happen to be a person that's got some inside information about Rolex, the brand that we know and that we love, please go ahead and email me at markgoldberg8@gmail.com. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it is right here. Okay, and one last bit of housekeeping before we read the letter, and that is I would ask you please like this video. And 2020 is going to be crazy. It's started out with a big smack in the face. So let's take this wild ride together. Please subscribe to my channel. I will be doing regular updates about Rolex and the world of watch collecting. Please join me. Let's do this all together. I lied. One more tiny bit of important stuff. I want to tell you, I know there's more important things to talk about watches. Like, guys, I want you to stay well and healthy, you, your family, your loved ones. But nonetheless, we got to have something to focus on. So it might as well be this. From Moneypenny. Hello, Mark. I have more information received. Now, I guess I need to define a term for those of you who are not Swiss. The word canton, C-A-N-T-O-N, probably pronounced in French canton. It is a governing body. I think it's, in the United States, we would call it maybe a state, some kind of like a cross between a state and a county. Okay, there are X number of them, something like 20, I think, in Switzerland. Switzerland much smaller than the United States. So let's just say that these are regional governing bodies. The information on Rolex is that the cantons now have full control over which non-essential manufacturing companies can operate. So the government has stepped in there on the regional level and has decided what can and cannot open or operate. Rolex must show that it can implement measures to prevent the spread of the virus, and any industrial curfew towards Rolex must meet the approval of the social partners and cantons. Remember, a lot of Europe is kind of socialized government medicine, that sort of thing. And he says that Rolex are now waiting for the authorization for a partial opening. If you have been watching all my videos, guys, you know that recently I made a video from Moneypenny sent information that Rolex had indeed requested partial opening early. And I'll tell you what, you might want to watch that video when you get done this one, so I'll stick a link to it in the description of this video here. Rolex had been closed initially for 10 days, then they extended it to 30, and now they're trying to get a skeleton crew out into the factory. And you'll learn a little bit more about why in this latest missive from Moneypenny. However, Rolex depends heavily on their employees who live in France, and a lot of the employees are staying at home in self-isolation. France and Switzerland have a border, and so a lot of their workers are going back and forth on a daily basis. Lots of the employees in France are staying at home in self-isolation with their families, and leaving that isolation to cross the border is a great concern to the French government due to the coming and going between countries. So yeah, that's affecting countries all over the world right now. A lot of international travel is closed. Borders are closed so that individual countries can get a handle on the coronavirus in their own country. So that border between Switzerland and France, I don't want to say it's an open border. I'm sure documentation is needed, but there are a lot of people who go back and forth literally on an everyday basis to their jobs and then back home again to France after the workday is done. Moneypenny continues, Rolex have COSC certified watches in their vaults, which means, they were manufactured, they were certified, they were tested, they're ready to ship. They have COSC certified watches in their vaults, which can be issued to dealerships, and the marketing and distribution staff are working from home. The Rolex staff are working from home to identify which dealerships are still open and those who are closed to see if they're in a position to take deliveries. That's interesting. So Rolex right now is trying to figure out on a global basis what AD is open to receive a shipment and what AD is not. So if you have an AD, you should be aware that right now Rolex may be trying to contact you to see if they can send you watches, which you probably want if you're an authorized distributor, because some money is better than none. So Rolex is working to identify which dealerships are open and in a position to take deliveries. And this is an unusual distribution pattern. Certainly this is vastly different than what normally happens. But for economic growth, I think he's talking about the overall Swiss economy, but for economic growth, it's paramount for the survival of Rolex and its dealerships. So the employees are taking orders, payments, and transactions from home. So there's an echelon. The Rolex types who can work from home are doing so. The people who man the benches clearly are not, and they want to get those people back in, at least on a skeleton crew basis. But they have to prove to the government that that they can do it safely. The watchmakers are required to complete the watches that were left partially assembled. So these will be ready for COSC certification in the future. And critically, these watches include the new 2020 models. And so they've already started manufacturing 2020 models, and that makes sense because they were due to announce them in April at Baselworld, which was canceled and then presumably moved all the way up to beginning of January of 2021. Now, we know that Patek Philippe has stated they're not even going to introduce anything new in 2020, that they're just going to wait for 2021. And I recently speculated whether Rolex might not follow suit. But the last paragraph here gives me pause for thought about that. Moneypenny says Rolex is not distributing their new catalog to the dealerships, and the decision will be made in due course whether or not they will announce the new models. And that suggests the decision has not yet been made. So, is that true? I'm not 100% on that one because there is a little bit of conflicting information beginning to tickle the eardrums out there. But I would say at the current time, this is the only written information I have that I can share with you. Certainly there will be more from Moneypenny perhaps, and ideally from other sources who can confirm or deny the information that we have here. So Rolex trying to open up and get some stuff out of the vault that is completed and COSC certified into the hands of ADs that are open and able to take them. And by the way, guys, if you are a Rolex collector and you've been fiending some sort of a watch, well, this might be the moment that you blow a call into your authorized dealer, ask them how they and their family are doing, and let them know of what your interest level is, because there could be one last spurt of inventory coming to them from Rolex at a time when not everybody is in a position to cough up the money and pay. But if you are in that position, you should probably let your authorized dealer know about it right now, because there may be one last hurrah before we go into Rolex drought pending reopening of the worldwide economy. Guys, that's what I have for you. As I said, is it critical? No. Is it interesting? You bet. And I will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe to this channel. Things are getting nuts. And I want to keep you by my side. Let's do this together. And I'm definitely wishing the best for you, your family, your loved ones. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey as we all sail through uncharted waters together. Watches are not the most important things in the world. Your family, your loved ones, your health. That is the most important thing in the world. Go kiss your kids, hug your parents, and pet your pets. Do whatever it is that makes you feel connected to the world at large. For me, one of those things is talking to you like I'm doing right now. It just connects me better to the world of my people because you folks are part of my tribe. Thanks for being with me. Goldberg. Peace out.